Yesterday I visited all of the stations on the St Ives branch line, except for one, Lelant Saltings. This station opened later than the others, 101 years in fact, in 1978, and essentially opened as a park and ride station. The premise being you park your car at Lelant Saltings and you get the train into St Ives rather than drive here yourself. Except the park and ride closed a few years ago. It moved to St Erth, and because Lelant already had a station, there was now no longer much of a point to have Lelant Saltings, so the number of services decreased significantly, and because of that, the number of passengers using it as well. It went from about 130,000 people a year to about 500. This year, I'm going to be one of those 500. So you can see from the timetable just how limited services are from this station. There is essentially just one a day in each direction, and at very early times in the morning as well. And I guess this is all that remains of the park and ride. Car park's still here, but there's no cars in the lot. So because of the limited service, obviously I can't get a train from here now. So we have to go on a walk to a different station. So I've made it to Hale. When I've gone down to St Ives before, the train to and from London did not stop here. On this occasion, I've essentially gotten the same trains, just a day apart. So I still wouldn't have had the opportunity to have visited Hale station. From Lelant Saltings, I was going to walk to St Erth, but I realised I could come here instead and catch the same exact train. So not only am I stopping at a new station, I'm visiting one as well. So I've made it to Penzance, the southernmost station in the country. Not the westernmost. That one belongs in Scotland. So we're going to part ways for the trains for the moment, because the next leg of our journey is going to involve a bus. Very special bus, in fact. And here it is, the Land's End coaster service to, well, Land's End. But the best thing about this is that it's open top. That was one of the wildest, wackiest bus rides I have ever been on. And the last time I went on an open top bus ride, it was to a ghost village on Salisbury Plain known as Imber. That might beat it. I'm in Land's End now, the westernmost point in Britain. I did wonder whether this was actually an old London bus, and by checking the license plate, I found out it is. So I'm not even exploring Land's End straight away. I teased you with it. I'm on some random path up towards Sennen Cove, where I'll then loop around and take the coastal path back. But already, this path is offering views of just how incredible that path actually is going to be back to Land's End. So I've not only lucked out with the weather, but I've lucked out with choosing to come to Sennen Cove, because this is mind-blowing. I did contemplate getting off the bus at Porthcurno and walking along the coast to Land's End from there, but I'm glad I visited here instead now. I'm sure that walk would have been lovely, but I really want to get down to that beach. I don't think I've seen a pillbox with such a deep entrance into it before. Should I still go in? Yeah, let's still go in. It's not your usual circular version. There's a whole like added bit to the side over here, but just this bit is being like filled in. This one was just a stone. I think I've spoiled you by coming to a place like this so soon in my videos. I wouldn't always expect me to visit such beautiful places like this. There'll be some mingers for sure. Even I'm surprised by just the sheer beauty of Cornwall's coast. I'm in disbelief. I think this might be the prettiest place I've ever visited, and I don't even think I'm exaggerating with that. Sennin Cove is absolutely incredible. I love this place so much. Okay, it's already cold. I haven't even properly gone in yet and my feet are already cold, but it's so clear. I've never seen England's sea look as clear as oh my, wow, I'm in disbelief with how incredible this place is. The path to Land's End is on, about a mile along the coast until we get there. That is one incredibly steep path up from the cove, but it's worth it for the views like this. I know the National Trust sign had said that this was Marion Cliffs, but we even saw a sneak preview of it from the path to Sennin Cove, but this view literally took my breath away. That oh wow, seriously wow. One of the notable points along this walk from Sennin Cove to Land's End is actually quite a tragic one, because there's a shipwreck. It's quite eerie that the wreck is still just lying there after all this time. I thought by the looks of it that it would have been there for much longer than it actually has been. It was the RMS Mulheim that was wrecked at Land's End after the chief officer fell unconscious while on watch on the 22nd of March 2003. I've built up quite a collection of photos of National Trust signs on my walks over the years, but this one's intriguing me. Main Cliff Castle? Mine Cliff Castle? Was it actually a castle on the cliffs here? That'd be amazing if that was still here now. That was, without a doubt, my most favourite walk I have ever done. From Sennin Cove along the coast to Land's End. I finally made it to Land's End. This is what the whole segment of this adventure was leading towards. And I'm here, the westernmost point in Britain, by the appropriately named first and last house. I am more west than any other person in the country at the moment. And I've been to the easternmost point in Lowestoft, so now all that's left to do is north and south.
I could of course also make the pilgrimage to John O'Groats, the longest distance across the country that you can make, starting here at Land's End. But for now, I'm just going to get all of the classic shots of Land's End, otherwise I'd get crucified for not showing it properly.
It was time now to get the bus back to Penzance, but this is actually a circular route, so I went in a different direction. Here's the route which I took initially, which took about an hour to Land's End, and this is the route that I'm doing now. It is so much longer travelling in a circular formation around this part of Cornwall, taking about 2.5 hours to get back to Penzance.
There were many incredible things about this bus journey, the first being that we went back to Sennon Cove. The bus reverses here to make sure to serve the village. As we pass by Land's End Airport, I want to point out the incredible value for money that this bus service offers. A £2 single anywhere on the route, and even if it wasn't covered by that government scheme, you can have a day ticket for only a £5.
At this point, the route started to become very rural and very scenic as we headed alongside some of the Cornish coast. It also started to get quite windy, which means it also got quite cold, which led to some interesting ways to try to keep warm. With the surroundings becoming quite mountainous and passing by some old mines as well, I thought I was in the Welsh valleys more so than the Cornish coast, and this route just really set in stone for me just how beautiful this part of Cornwall really was.
All of a sudden though, civilization returned as my adventure came full circle and the bus made it to St. Ives, where we had a face-off with another bus.
I thought I chose the best time to visit Cornwall because in the summer I know how busy it would get down here, and I did get really lucky with the weather, except it was just really cold on the top deck of the bus. So as the driver took his break at St. Ives, I moved down to the lower deck. Once we were off again, we passed the Lance Salting Station and also served St. Earth, places which we would become familiar with during our Cornwall adventures.
So that was a very long but a very enjoyable bus ride, about 36 miles all the way from Land's End, and I definitely think that's become my new favourite bus route. I've not gone all the way to Penzance though. I've bailed at Long Rock because retail park, food, hungry. It will allow me to actually walk the coast path for the final time into Penzance from here, so that's how my Cornwall adventure is going to end. This coastal path also takes me right past the Long Rock train depot, where I think I'm getting a sneak preview of what train I'm going to be getting home. The sea is very calm on the shores of Penzance this evening. I remember when I came here before, I felt like it was a little bit like the ends of the earth, and then conveniently came across a bookshop called The Edge of the World. But hey, Penzance is a good place to end an adventure. Big shout out to the Tesco here in Penzance's High Street. When I wandered around the town before, this was the only shop that was open. And when I saw it open, I realised I should probably go in there and get some snacks for the train home. And I ended up getting all of my favourites. So my adventure in Cornwall comes to an end. 2 days, 2 videos, 2 videos ending in the dark. I feel like I've explored as much of Cornwall as I could west of Hale, and Penzance is where it comes to an end. I'm catching the Night Riviera sleeper train back to Paddington. Penzance to Paddington. I don't have a bed though. To be fair, I don't think I'd really get a good night's sleep knowing that I'm going to be waking up at 5 in the morning at Paddington. And also, just by having a seat on the train, it's no more expensive than a normal ticket, so I didn't have to pay anything more than I would just for this return journey to London. I did do the sleeper train last time I was here at Penzance. I'm doing it again, and I'm probably going to stay up the entire time until 5 AM. Yeah, I'm going to be shattered when I go home. That's when I'll get a good night's sleep.
That train pulling in has just completed the longest journey a single train makes in the country, from Aberdeen to Penzance, over 13 hours long. The train is passing through Bristol Temple Meads without stopping. It seems that the sleeper service deliberately takes the longer route back to London so that people have a longer night's sleep. It could do this journey 2 hours quicker if it really wanted to, and when I did this journey before, I spent my time planning how I was going to tackle travelling on all of the night bus routes in London. I threw that plan out the window immediately because I realised with a very tight connection that I could make the last N205 bus of the night from Paddington to Leighton Downsell Road, and that is exactly the bus that I caught this time when I arrived at Paddington to go home.
N205 to Leighton Downsell Road.
Paddington Station, at the end of a Great Western Railway adventure.